All right, we're recording.
All right, we're live.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Data Dudes. I'm Izzy.
I'm Raka, and today we have a special treat. We're having an interview Zoom with Kayleigh Love. Kayleigh, want to introduce yourself and what you're about?
Hi guys, all right. I'm Kayleigh Love and I'm the lead paranormal investigator of my team Love to Investigate, where we conduct paranormal investigations into the unknown of the paranormal and abandoned locations as well.
Awesome.
That's awesome. So I know you alluded to your team. If you want to expound now, who's in your team? We saw all your videos. Yeah. So please go on.
Yeah. Oh, great. I'm glad you looked at them all. My team usually consists of myself, my dad, John, and my partner, Jared. Sometimes with work commitments and things like that, my dad can't always be there. And that's, well, it's just me and my partner then instead.
All right. Now, before you enter made the YouTube channel, were you guys doing this previously, like, without filming it and everything, or like
how'd you get into this?
No, well, we got into this mainly because both me and my dad, since I was young, he's always noticed that I seem to have seen things and heard things, and I would always go to my family and say, as a young child, that I can see and hear things that other people couldn't. So they knew that I was linked to the spirit realm or spirit world, if you will. And then my father also has seen things and heard things. So there was a link there. And at whatever house he lives in and whatever house I've moved to, it seems to follow us. We don't know what it is. We haven't attempted to contact it. So that's the main reason for why we wanted to venture into it in other haunted places, to see if we're both just as sensitive in other places, not just our own places. And it turns out we've had pretty good responses, which would determine that, yeah, that is the case. We are quite sensitive. We work better together. It's as if we feed off each other's energy. It's the only way I can explain it. But me and my dad work really well together, and spirits tend to come. If they don't prefer a female, they'll go through my dad, especially on the spirit app and things. So they're not always a fan of coming to me. They'll go to him and vice versa, you know?
I mean, that's fascinating. We're in a similar boat where all of us here at Dead Air Dudes, and we have a lot of different parts, and we're the main two, but we have a lot of people part of our family. We all experience very similar things growing up, and even recently, paranormal, spirits, premonitions, stuff like that. And that's why we've also had our line of Bad Juju series that we've been
doing some case study. We've been trying to dig deeper and trying to actually get into the whole paranormal investigation, thing. And so, yeah, that's why
with karma being what it is, and we've connected, it very intrigued us that first that you're interested, and that you're doing what we would actually plan to do.
Exactly.
There is a very haunted road in New Jersey, which is the next state to us, called Clinton Road, and it's one of the most haunted stretches of highway. And we've got a lot of insight to what you do, and we're going to proceed. That's why I want to dive into some of the equipment you use, because we're thinking of trying to do something similar. So we saw, especially in that episode with the, in
the first episode, I saw that you had
the Falcon Inn.
There you go.
In the Falcon Inn, where you had, so first that's a meter you have. If you can explain, electric meter, or is it K2?
Yeah, that's the K2 meter, sometimes referred to as the EMF reader. It picks up electromagnetic fields that spirits can kick out. So it picks up fluctuations within the energies around you. You can pick up nothing in one spot, and then in another you'll go freezing cold, and then I tend to use it where I feel that there may be something or presence there, and usually it's great, it will pick it up. But the K2 meter is the one that most paranormal investigators are the most familiar tool that anyone can use. And I do recommend it, regardless of people being skeptical of the scientific methods with regards to investigating equipment. but I swear down by it, and I love using it. Seeing the lights go from green, 2 green lights on me are just steady levels of energy then, let's just say. And then yellow is your medium, where there may be a weak spirit, but there's definitely something there. And then orange and red are obviously the higher levels. And that's how the best way I can explain the K2 meter. And when it goes to red on command, it's brilliant, because if they can't communicate through by whispering or through a recording device or anything like that, then just by standing and moving in front of the K2 meter, they are able to go on command to the lights. So if I say, are you with me right now? Can you make it go to yellow? And they do it. Can you move away from it if you can, or if you can touch me, if you're strong enough, can you make it go to red? And they'll go to red if they can. And it's a great source for trying to determine how strong a spirit is just by the lights alone. Wow. It's really good.
So if it goes to red, do you get spooked out a little bit that this is a powerful being, entity?
When it goes to red, I would be wrong if I say I didn't crap my pants, because it does happen. As you can tell from my footage, through my content, you can tell like how surprised I am, and I'm like, whoa, it's going to red. Like, it really does shock me, because I don't expect it. I do not expect a response from them. I really don't. But then when I get it, well, you know, I can't act for crap. So what you're seeing there is real. That's my genuine reaction. But yeah, I really do love it, and the K2 meter is my favorite tool. One of my favorite tools.
And what are the other tools that you use? I saw you had the poles, I guess.
The rods.
The rods.
And you asked what direction
to cross the rods, and
that's quite creepy. I gotta say.
It is. Yeah, in the Falcon towards the end of the video, I did use them. Some places it'll work, others it won't. It didn't work in Ruthin Castle, but it did work really well in the Falcon and the prison. I'm yet to still upload that one as of yet. But what it is with the dowsing rods, you are allowing the spirits to use your energy through your own body. So your hands are on these dowsing rods. And you're supposed to, well, some people say you can hold them right out in front of you, but I tend to hold them close to me, because I feel that the closer to me they are, the spirits are closer in body to me. Some people may not feel comfortable with that, and then by all means use them further away from your body. Yeah. I prefer to let them engage a little bit closer, especially if they're a weaker spirit and they can feed off my energy through the poles. It's best to establish what a yes and what a no answer is. So if I was to ask, so yeah, I didn't do it in my Falcon video. I just asked the questions, and I just assumed that, you know, well, like I was trying to be very specific. Right. So if you're a female, cross the rods. If you're not, swing them outwards. And there was no need to determine what a yes or no answer was, purely on the basis of how specific my question was. But each to their own. Everybody's got different techniques, but I do really enjoy using the rods, and that is my number one favorite tool that I do like to use.
Now, is it that dangerous as far as depending on the type of spirit, like if they're too close to your energy or anything, or it doesn't really matter?
I would say that any tool that you use where you're physically holding it, you know, such as a Ouija board where your fingers are on it, table tipping and seances, things like that, and where you're touching the table and you're allowing energy to feed through a material substance, anything that you're linked to a spiritual entity, you don't really know what it is you're contacting. You don't know how strong they really are. Right. So I think anything that you do where you're putting your body in that way will always be some form of danger. And I would suggest to anybody that you really do look up on your stuff if you're going to attempt it. And if you are going to do it, you are doing it at your own risk. Yeah. And it's as simple as that, really. I think that's basically pointed out the obvious for me. But with me, I cut straight, you know, so I just tell you, if you're gonna do it, just, they are safe methods. You can sage beforehand and afterwards, smudging with a sage stick to cleanse. Again, a lot of people are skeptical about that. And saying a prayer of whatever prayer that means the most to you before and after using any equipment. I don't particularly have a prayer, and I've only ever saged twice. But again, that's my personal preference. But going forward, I'm definitely going to be taking more measures, I feel, because I know how sensitive I am. So I don't really want anything following me home. I've got enough in my own home as it is. I don't want any more joining me, you know.
That was just to follow you back. That's why
I mean,
I was curious about that.
You bring up a good point. So I've, in talking with other mediums, they have always told us the same common denominator. You go into an area and you have to be respectful, and you have to ask the spirits, and then when you leave, you say me. So I was just wondering, when I saw you ask spirits first and you introduce yourself into the room, I know you want to speak and communicate with only the good spirits, right? And then Izzy brought up a good point. There are bad spirits out there that can say they're good spirits. They can come in. And is it simple enough with just exiting politely? Remember you saying we have to exit the right way, and you said the sage and the prayer. Is that enough, or have you opened a box, a door that you should not open? Because that's always a worry, you know?
Do you know what? Yeah, that's a good point to make. I think it is kind of opening a box of the unknown. You really do not know what you're going to get. And another thing I would say is, even though you may seem to know of the spirits that you assume have passed away and are still residing in a spiritual presence, you don't actually know whether that person coming through, they may say they're of a good nature, but it could be an evil presence attempting to try and trick you into thinking that they're positive, so that they're able to latch on and they're able to have a communication with you, because they know full well they're intelligent. They know that you're not going to want to engage with them if they said they are evil. So therefore, they are very intelligent with their responses on, especially the spirit apps and things like that, where we can actually get words of communication through that to determine what they want and how they want to go about things. But being respectful is definitely introduce yourself. They may be spirits, but they're people, and they were people. So you need to treat them as you would if you walked into somebody else's home or establishment, premises. You wouldn't just walk in there and be, right, come on in, give me some answers. You can't do it. You've got to go in there, go, hello, I don't mean no harm, I don't mean any disrespect. If you don't wish to communicate, you don't need to. I'm not here to force anything, and you just need to be yourself. But yeah, being respectful is number one priority on the list when conducting paranormal investigations.
I have to say, and I'm curious to find out your belief system. So I was raised Roman Catholic, and so was Izzy. So we did a whole very deep dive into exorcisms.
Yeah. In
one of our episodes, and during our investigation, there's so many creepy things we've come across. I've actually known priests personally who have participated in exorcisms, and a concurrent theme they brought up was you're opening a door, and sometimes somebody comes through the door that you don't want. So I'm just curious. I mean, since then, I must say, since growing up, getting older, I've kind of furthered and distanced myself from the religion. I'm more spiritual than to religion. How do you feel? What is your belief system? Without me getting too personal into what you believe, but like heaven, hell, spirits, evil spirits, realms, whatnot.
With regards to the religious aspect of things, I do believe in religion, but not organized religion. So if I was to you get what I'm saying with that, I guess. Right, so anything that's not a financial gain. I don't want to point fingers at anyone and not get too political. Yeah. But I think you get where I'm getting at. And I also, of course, I believe religion has a lot of links to the spiritual side of things. So how can I not be open-minded as far as religion is concerned if I do believe in the afterlife? But I do believe in, yes, you are right when you're opening doors to things you don't quite know about. But I feel like if the spirits are already there and I'm already going in a place and I'm just openly asking for a response, some form of communication, and they give it, then surely that door's already open. They're already there. They're there around us all the time. You're only asking a question or asking them to do something. I don't really feel that that is maybe opening the door. Whereas if I was to compare that to basically make my point to a Ouija board, something that can open a portal of some sort, then I feel that that is definitely dabbling with things such as opening portals, opening doors, that side of thing, yeah, I get. But I feel like communicating through the resources and technology that I use, I don't really feel sometimes it's opening a closed door to something you don't really know, because they're already there. They're stuck more or less, I feel. I don't know.
Is there a question?
So what are the other like job hazards like within, you know, like doing a paranormal investigation?
With the hazards of paranormal investigating is that to make sure as well that any noise or, you know, bump in the night, it can be debunked, because not everything is paranormal. A light anomaly can be caused by so many things. Something moving, something shifting. It could be the structure of the place you're in, could have, you know, it could have jolted, it could have given way. In old houses where the upstairs, the heating goes on and the wood all tends to expand and make noises as if someone's walking up there. Like I'm not, obviously I'm far from skeptical, otherwise I wouldn't do what I do. But you do need to have that level of rationality about things, because if you can't give people, well, we've looked at it, but I think it's human nature that if something happens, you rationalize it. Oh, that could have been this, because you're scared and you want to have a logical reason for why that happened, or why that made a noise, why you heard that noise, whisper or voice. So you'll go and look for what may have caused it. However, you know then once you've gone and attempted to debunk it, that there is nothing that could have caused it. And then to me, whether it was caught on camera or not, to me, myself leaving, that's paranormal evidence. And that's what really gets me going, and that's what gets me excited about it and why I do what I do.
That's awesome. Kayleigh, I think we have a question from
IGTV Live. The question is, what do you say to the skeptics of paranormal activity?
Oh, that's a really good question. What I would say to skeptics is put yourself in a paranormal investigator's position. So go to a place that you deem haunted. Never go alone, maybe go with another skeptic. But sit there, and if you wish to communicate, well, there wouldn't be any harm in reaching out and communicating, because you don't believe in it anyway. So no harm, no foul in a way. But still do it safe. And reach out to any spiritual entities and presence and see if you can give a logical explanation for, as far as paranormal activity goes, that's quite a big area in which to cover. So if maybe a tree does move in front of your eyes in this deemed haunted location and there's no string attached to it, and you know you're the only person there, what you can just take away from that then your own experience. I don't think you would be that much of a skeptic, but until you put yourself in that position, you know there's no pictures, there's nothing there to manipulate it and fake it. And I think it's only until then will skeptics maybe realize. But some people do say that doesn't matter how much evidence that you put to someone, it'll never be enough. But what if the evidence was right in front of their face and it didn't come from someone else? I think that's the only way that a skeptic would ever maybe, you know, change their opinion of the spiritual world. The spirit world.
I agree. If I can piggyback off your answer, so this is one of our earlier episodes about life after death. we had shared that my niece had gone to the cemetery with my brother after my father just passed away. My niece was about 3.5 at the time. So, very young in the innocent age. They went to the cemetery.
Yeah.
She's never been there before. And she stares and she doesn't know yet what death was and didn't know that my father, her grandfather, passed away. And she said, "Oh, he's standing right there. What is he doing here?" And my brother freaked. And everyone in the car was just shocked. And, of course, the shivers down the spine and everything. And so I think I want to just inform the audience. It doesn't have to be a scary thing.
No,
but
exactly.
but there is a spirit. I'm hopeful, too, that there is life after this. And that life can linger, that life can communicate. In times that life can help. It can also hurt. That's why don't dabble where you shouldn't dabble. But it does help. And exactly, we've said that and a few other antidotes very similar to that, which makes me believe in the spirit world. And again, we're very, very thankful for you and all the paranormal investigators. We kind of learn because we're going to venture out in the same way. We have a few places in mind, and which goes into questions that you had addressed with some of your videos where you entered an abandoned place and a few other places that you didn't want to name, because there's certain places that have the whole lore of being haunted or spirits are there, but they're off limits. They're restricted. They're private property. So I do want to reiterate to people out there, be careful.
Yeah, you
don't
can't
just cut
just,
the fence and go in.
You can't just go in somewhere and be like, oh, wait, I'm just going to, go check a place out.
Like we have a Pennsylvania penitentiary, been closed for years, but we love to go in there. There's been so many stories of abuse and torture, like you did the prison cell. It's all fantastic stuff. Just very interesting, intriguing, and there's a little fear factor, I admit, but it makes it fun. All right, it's a little.
It does make it fun, and just the only thing that I do say in my videos is, it is fun and the fear factor is cool because the adrenaline you get from it and the rush is an amazing experience. It's an amazing feeling, especially when you catch that evidence or what, to everybody's personal opinion, what they deem to be evidence. Then I'll just clarify that. But just never go alone. That's my only big thing. It's scary enough when you're with a group. Do not go on your own, because if anything happens, you can't be accounted for, then that will be a sad tale to tell. And that's the one thing that I always make sure that I do say is that just do not go alone, because that's the best safe that you can be.
That leads us into the question we both had, the first question we had that we wanted to ask you. What is your scariest or creepiest or most chilling and horrifying or whatever? What is the most intense experience you've had
that you've experienced or
in your journey to investigate in paranormal?
There's so many, so I will. All right, okay.
What are our favorite ones?
There's two. So in the Falcon, we were upstairs because we were staying there the night. Even though we didn't record any of the footage upstairs, it was dark and we'd finished our investigation, and we were in the room, the three of us. The other two went to sleep, and I could not switch off. My adrenaline was still going. I was still looking around the room. Like it didn't calm down quick for me. Soon as I did calm down and I went to sleep, I heard a child's voice, a no word of a lie, come, and it was so clear, but it wasn't just the voice that scared me. It was the fact that I could feel the breath on my ear. That's got to be it for me. And I literally, I got goosebumps talking about it. But yeah, it's the freakiest thing. And it said, "You said you were going to help us."
Oh.
And I was just like, I couldn't register it at the time. I could feel I was just scared stiff, and then I just started going boiling hot, like I was just scared and I couldn't move. And well, I will never forget it. Things like that. But just because the cameras are switched off, you finished filming, doesn't mean that they leave you alone or that the investigation has ended for you as a person. And that's another thing I want to tell people. You're reaching out to people that are in need of help half the time. They will not just go away. So that's another thing. The other one was in Shrewsbury, Dana, or Dana, I'm not sure how you really pronounce it, in the prison that I stayed in overnight. And we went on the 2-hour tour, you know, as you do. And while we were on the tour, I stood next to a person I didn't even know. And there was shower cubicles behind me in the register room where they would register prisoners. It would be the first place that prisoners were brought in, registered. They'd be searched, they'd have a shower, and then head off into their wing. And that's what the tour guide was telling us. And as I was standing there, freezing cold gusts of wind were coming from me, and I just thought, oh, it's the shower cubicles, you know, they've not been in use for ages, it could be a vent, it could be anything. But it just started getting really, really heavy on the back of my neck, to the point where it was moving my hair, like as if someone was going, like trying to get my attention. And if that wasn't enough, I jumped, because I had and I could feel a prod to my ribs. And I've never felt anything so strong and physical in my life. Like, it literally felt like as if people go, like, I don't know whether this is a thing that other people know, but when someone walks past and goes, like that, and makes you jump, that's basically what it was. That's basically what it was. But on my one side, straight away I felt very nauseous after the prod. I think it like gave me such a shock that I started to feel a bit sick. But I was that adamant that the prod was of someone next to me. So I looked at the girl instantly, you know, like to go, yeah, what do you want? But it was quite a malicious poke. And it was only until then I realised that I had been contacting a spirit in my cell before the tour started. And I was basically confronting this spirit that did communicate back with me. So I knew I was talking to him specifically. And I was telling him, does he feel guilty for murdering this said woman? And he replied on the spirit, no ma'am, as in no ma'am. And that's what he said. So he didn't feel guilty. But then throughout the tour, before I got poked in the ribs, the tour guide said that the person I was contacting had actually didn't kill the lady. It was his brother that killed this woman, and he took the fall for his brother. Oh. So I'm thinking maybe was that his way of taking it out on me to say, you know, oh, you don't know anything. I didn't do it. I don't feel guilty about taking the rap for my brother. And that's kind of, I think it was him trying to like basically, so like I said, you do get malicious spirits coming through, and that physical touch definitely was the first one I've ever had that gave me a fright, to be honest. But I will definitely go back there. Nothing would deter me, I don't think.
Do you think these spirits can ever come to peace? You know, or maybe you can help them, or somebody. What can help them? You know, unless they're just cursed to roam the place for eternity in, I don't know, regret, anger, what have you. You know, I wonder.
I feel that with spirits that are still here, some of them, they haven't completed what it is that they wanted to do. Some of them are also attached to like their residual energies, so that they're attached to brickwork, materials, and they're there, but they're not really there, if that makes sense. They're on a recorded loop of what their life or their last minutes or hours were. So you'll see maybe the same spirit reappear in the same place at the same time, or maybe you'll just get a floating mist because the residual energy isn't strong that particular day or time as it was yesterday. And I feel that sometimes it's hard to determine which ones are residual and which ones are actually stuck, and it's their full self, and they just go about life as they please. They see other people living in their homes, or you know, sleeping in their room that they used to sleep in, cooking in the kitchen that they used to cook their family meal in. And I feel that it's quite sad to think that they're trapped. But I've been told by a psychic prior, well, when I was younger, when I was around 17, 18, I think it was 17 actually, I was told that I had a gift in order to help. So I said to her, well, how do I use, and I don't know, take psychics with a pinch of salt or what have you, but I wanted her to elaborate on what gift it was that I had then. And she couldn't elaborate on it. But then as the years have gone on, the paranormal experiences for me in my homes and things have gone a lot more. But I think it's because that they know that I'm out here doing what I'm doing, and I'm now, this past year, I've devoted a lot of my attention and a lot of my time, and they know now that I'm ready to come out and communicate. So now I feel that they're coming to me, like maybe I am like a spiritual hub, because wherever I go, I see new things. I could be out for a walk in the day, and if I come past a building or something, and I will get a sense of, I don't like, I got a bad feeling, or I know a lot of people can relate to this as well.
Right, we noticed on your IG, you post in your home and everywhere the meter's going off here and there, and I'm like, wow, they're following you everywhere. It's a bit creepy.
It's creepy. It is creepy, but nothing malicious has happened in my home. I've had the odd little things trying to grab my attention, doors closing, like a kitchen mop will fall over, a cup, like the cutlery drawer will shake in the drawer. Little things, you know?
Little
and
things.
I think
This is all normal for you now. This is all normal.
I can't believe I just referred to that as normal.
Oh yeah, just a couple of spirit just going around, you know. It's no big deal.
So, you know, this is all very insightful. Like we said, we're planning to do an investigation ourselves very soon. What's on the horizon for you? Yeah, not alone. We're gonna do it together with cameras and meters and everything, and make sure that there's enough of people around for support. What's on the horizon for you? What's next?
Well, obviously, as it's known, COVID's put a halt to a lot of things for us. However, we have to stay in our local areas, but there is, over the last couple of days, when I've been asleep, I've heard a lot of chanting outside my window. My window is open, and I've tried to ignore it, but now my other half has noticed it as well. So it's not just me hearing it, and it's like a chanting that's within the distance. And when I did a bit of research, there is a cemetery not far from here, but there's also ruins of an abbey. So it could be monks I'm hearing.
Wow.
But it was a very bizarre experience. And now, on Halloween night, like I said in my Instagram videos, I won't be doing a live because of the connectivity issues down there, but I will be doing an investigation there in the Abbey ruins. Because a lot of monks, disembodied voices, chanting, and ghostly looking monks have been seen roaming around there. I haven't done any it's my first local investigation. I've not done a local one to my own area before, mainly because I'm quite an over-ambitious person, and I like to go further afield. I like to stay a couple of nights away. I like to travel. I like to get out of the house, and it's the build-up of traveling, you know, looking around other areas. So that's the main reason for why I've not done a local investigation, but I am looking forward to this one. So it should work well within my favour, I think.
Well, definitely looking forward to seeing that.
I mean, that's fantastic stuff. Again, we'd like to thank you for joining us today. Oh wait, another question.
Oh, thank you for having me.
One last question. Our IG, it asks this gentleman, Adam Ray, is there a way to become more aware of trapped spirits?
Right, so it's a personal, it's more of a personal opinion or personal preference when it comes to determining whether there's a trapped spirit, maybe in your home or in a place that you visit. The first thing that you would usually probably feel, you would feel it. You would feel a bit anxious, a bit like you could feel like you're being watched from a certain area of the room maybe, and that's or little things happening, like I've mentioned in my past experiences, things that happen that would make you think something wants my attention. Usually when things start happening and they want your attention, it's usually because they need help. The only ways that, like I said, to determine and help determine whether a spirit is trapped is by finding a way of communicating. And again, I just want to put out there, that is not through a Ouija board. There is other means of communication that are safer. And I'm going to use the word safer, not safe, because we don't actually know what is completely safe. And I don't want to be bold and make that statement, because I don't know myself whether the rods are 100% safe, you know? So, but I would say that asking questions, because it could be a spirit that likes to reside where you are, and they want to live beside you, and they enjoy being you. And I've never really come across, I've only come across one spirit where they said that they're happy to be there. The rest of them have been like, no, I want to cross over. But the only thing I can say about the crossing over method is that what I've come across is, and it may just be it may be a lot more simpler than we think to help spirits cross over, and it's just simple words. Because when I was using my spirit app, and I'm not going to disclose this location because I'm yet to actually go back and do a video on it. Spirit app, I said, do you need help? And the guy said, yes, I need help. And a woman came through on the app and said, she said something, and I was thinking, did I just hear that right? So then I repeated what she said to my partner, and it was the words of, I'll set you free now. So I heard this woman come through, the spirit woman come through and say, I'll set you free now. And I looked at my partner and I said, I'll set you free now. As if to go, is that what I heard? And the minute I said it, I could hear the same man's voice go, thank you. But it was as if it was going further and further away, as if he was being taken away.
Like he was,
which
like
really shocked me.
like
Maybe
he
it was
free.
Yeah.
Maybe he was going to the light, and all it is a simple,
Go to the light.
you know you can go, you know where the light is, I set you free from you now. And I'm saying it this loud because I'm thinking, whoever's here now, you could go, you know, in my house.
That's amazing.
Now, that app, what's the spirit app that you mentioned?
Yeah, the spirit app is the one I use, and the one that I would personally recommend is called the Necrophonic app. So what it does is it sifts through the radio waves, but I believe it sifts through them at a fast rate, but backwards, and then the words come through forwards from the spirit realm and world. So that, again, I can't say how credible certain equipment is, especially as far as apps are concerned. I know a lot of people are skeptical. A lot of people have said, oh, I've heard that noise before on there. It's just self-recorded voices on there. But from my personal experience, I would 100% recommend it. The responses that I've had on there have been really, really specific to what I've asked of them. So purely based on my own experiences, that the Necrophonic app is by far the best.
Wow, that's a great recommendation. We might have to take you up on that.
Check it out. We have to check it out ourselves.
And the app also, with you can get the spirit boxes, which are, I believe, is referred to as the SPB7 and SPBF11 boxes. I'm sure I just said that right, mouthful. And they do sift through the radio channels. However, you get this noise, and it's really hard to determine what the spirits are saying. So you get like this white noise, and it goes shh, 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 right. And you can't really get a lot out of it. Whereas the Necrophonic app eliminates the white noise so that the words come through very clearly.
All right, so
wow, Kayleigh, this is very insightful. Thank you for engaging in this conversation with us.
Thank you very much.
You're joining us from across the pond. And so this is a smaller world. Even though it's COVID, we can communicate and we can tell each other. And hopefully we've disseminated to the fan base out there for both you and ours that there's stuff out there. It's worth investigating. Don't be fearful, but be smart.
Exactly.
And be
smart and be safe.
You know, and
but so thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for having me, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your time, and it's been really, really good to speak about something that I'm passionate about and that I enjoy and that I have a lot of experience in. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and chat and get my words out there. Thank you.
Oh, definitely.
You're definitely welcome.
Now, you want to tell everybody where they can find you and, on your
social media
stuff
and
everything. And
yeah, so I'm on Instagram at Kayleigh oh no, it's not, it's an underscore on it. Kayleigh _Love 2I, as in Love to Investigate. My YouTube channel is Love to Investigate, and that's the two places you can find me and my content. I have a range of it on my Instagram as well, just a few home videos that I think people would be really interested in looking on.
Awesome, spectacular. Hey, thank you for joining us again. She is Kayleigh Love. I'm Raka.
I'm Izzy.
And for Dead Air Dudes Nation, be well, happy Halloween, and save the whales.
Take care, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.